Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Startup Greece Talks with Ioannis. Hello, Ioannimou. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm good, thank you.
So, today we're here to discuss about Aisthesis Med, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. And can you please tell us where you're located? Because I'm kind of jealous at this point.
My base is in Crete, in Greece. So, yeah, I'm talking from here today.
That's why I'm jealous. So,
I can imagine the reason.
So, I wanted to ask you to tell me a little bit more about yourself, where you started from, how you decided to do Aesthesis Med, what is it?
Definitely.
Anything for you.
Of course, of course. So my background, I have studied electrical and computer engineering in Greece at the Technical University of Crete. My fascination with the potential of artificial intelligence and machine learning led me to specialize in cancer imaging applications during my studies. And this was the passion that took me to the Hamlin Center for Robotic Surgery at Imperial College in London, where I completed my PhD in clinical medicine research. There I had the opportunity to develop an AI-based surgical imaging system designed specifically to improve the accuracy of tumor resections in gastrointestinal cancer surgeries. After working
our audience is going to have a hard time understanding that. So could you please take a moment to elaborate a little bit on that? As I'm trying to fix my camera, so you just elaborate on that. I'm going to ask questions as if I don't understand anything, even though we talked yesterday.
Okay, sure.
Perfect, I made it.
So during and following my PhD, I also worked as a machine learning engineer in various roles across the UK, Italy, Germany, and Belgium. And I witnessed firsthand the critical need for blending engineering with clinical insights, something that has significantly shaped my career path. And this experience ultimately inspired me to transition from academia and also industrial engineering positions into entrepreneurship and co-found Aisthesis Medical.
How did you figure out what was wrong? So what did you observe?
So my experience during my PhD studies, actually, because I was working closely with clinical experts, with surgeons, intensivists, I figured out that there is a serious problem with treatment of patients, especially in the post-operative phase, due to the sepsis. So here it comes also to the point of Aisthesis Medical. So Aisthesis Medical, we're a medical startup company, and we're focused on transforming the way hospitals manage acute conditions, and particularly sepsis, because sepsis is a global health crisis that impacts around 50 million people annually. And tragically, sepsis claims one life every 2.2 seconds, totaling at least 11 million deaths per year worldwide. And this is really serious, and we're here to address and solve this problem.
Can you give me an idea about how has it been treated up to this point, and what are you bringing to this? So how do you solve this problem from your perspective?
Of course. So the current medical standard relies on traditional screening tools with low sensitivity and specificity. And despite the advances in healthcare, the detection and management of sepsis remain largely reactive. And this traditional approach often results in delayed interventions, contributing to preventable morbidity and mortality. So at Aisthesis Medical, we are committed to shifting the paradigm from reactive to proactive care, leveraging cutting-edge AI technology to predict sepsis onset. Our goal, of course, is to improve patient outcomes and to significantly reduce the healthcare costs associated with sepsis treatment in hospitals around the world. Diving into more details, we have developed VIOSync, our product, which is a state-of-the-art clinical decision support system that's really changing the game in how hospitals manage sepsis. VIOSync integrates seamlessly into existing hospital frameworks, pulling together multimodal patient data. And this includes everything from vital signs and lab results to medical history, medications, and clinical notes. With this data, VIOSync employs explainable AI models and continuous monitoring to not just wait for signs of sepsis, but to actively predict deterioration and alert healthcare professionals up to 48 hours before the critical conditions might appear. It is worth mentioning that the core of our technology is what we call the digital patient twin. This is a dynamic
twinning. Okay.
Digital patient twin, yes. Yeah. The digital patient twin is actually a dynamic virtual representation of the patient's health status that updates continuously as new data comes into the system. And this allows for highly personalized care plans and fast preemptive actions in order to manage sepsis effectively.
So let me make sure that I understand. First of all, can you help me pronounce the name of your product?
Yeah, it is called VIOSync.
VIOSync.
It is from it's from the Greek word vios, like life. Vios, life.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So let me make sure that I understand. Using your technology, you can create a digital twin of the patient by collecting data from the clinical. By collecting clinical data, for example, bloods or I don't know what other kinds of markers you might be interested into, but I assume it's a collection of different various kinds of data. You technically mirror the health condition of the patient in your digital twin, and then you can run some estimations or some calculations and see the point that sepsis is going to start happening or the tissues are going to start deteriorating. Is this the correct idea that I have?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I think you described it in a very nice and precise way. So
perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So I understand and I know that you're pre-revenue, so I'm gonna keep on trying to figure out a little bit more about how you're planning on working with the hospitals. So my question would be, who is the end user? Because it's very important to understand not only who is going to be the decision maker that is going to purchase such a product, but the important thing also is who is going to be the user of the product.
Of course. So the end users of our product are mainly physicians in the ICU, in the general floor, in the emergency departments, nurse staff as well. The buyer is the hospital or the private insurance companies. But also we have a second revenue stream where we can license our AI module to medical device companies and of course electronic health record system vendors who can integrate our AI within their software systems.
Absolutely. Okay, understood. Perfect. Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna try to avoid being too technical when it comes to the business model, but I would like to understand, you explained to me how you're planning on making money. So how would you describe the ideal customer? So if, let's say I was your sales guy, how would you tell me what to look for?
Perfect. So we target technologically advanced hospitals that are actively seeking digital solutions to enhance their patient care. Such institutions are typically more agile and open to adopting innovative technologies that can streamline their operations and improve patient outcomes, making them perfect partners for our solution. Our strategy for getting such partners on board involves continuous engagement with them through events, expos, conferences, and also panels that we plan to host as a company, where we invite such stakeholders, mainly clinicians in the field.
Perfect. Okay. So you are pretty, it's pretty obvious what your product market fit is at this point. And I would like to understand, so how long ago did this start? Because since it's incorporating AI and machine learning techniques, I assume that when you started it, it must have been a rather revolutionary as a concept. So when did it start? Anything about your journey that makes sense up to this point?
So it started, we started working on VIOSync product development and the concept for sepsis management in 2022, in the second quarter of 2022. It took us a while to try and understand the problem, define the problem and solution fit. So we have done a lot of interviews with clinicians, with key opinion leaders in the field of sepsis across various university, mainly hospitals in Europe and the United States. And from there, we continued with the actual development of the platform and also of our AI models. We have used data from more than 50,000 patients, and this comes from publicly available databases, but also from data that we have prospectively collected in hospitals in Greece and in Europe. Also we are now completing our first in-human clinical pilot study with a Greek university hospital. We aim to
Could you say this again, please? Because I had a hard time understanding exactly what you said. Could you say this again? You're currently doing what?
Yeah, we're currently completing our first in-human clinical pilot study with a Greek university hospital.
Unless it's undisclosed.
No, I can say the name. It's the University Hospital of flagship in Greece.
Okay.
So our target is to enroll around 60 patients. So far, we have recruited around 35. The preliminary results are very promising, and at the moment, we are also structuring our pivotal clinical trial, which is second stage of the clinical validation of our solution, in order to get ready for commercialization.
Okay, thank you very much. As we both know, healthcare is probably the highest, most profitable and always growing industry. So I understand that the estimations for solutions like this are valuated highly. Yet I would like you to give me some ideas about how is the image of the current market state, and how do you see it going within the next 3 to 5 years?
Perfect. So specifically, we're tapping into the global predictive healthcare analytics market, which is currently valued at $13 billion. What's exciting is that this market is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 25%. It's definitely a dynamic and rapidly expanding sector. And this robust market is driven by a rising demand for advanced analytics systems that can significantly enhance patient outcomes and also reduce healthcare costs. Additionally, the shift towards personalized medicine is fueling this growth even further, because personalized medicine not only tailors treatment to individual patients' needs, leading better health outcomes, but it also helps in cutting down unnecessary healthcare expenditures.
Expenses, yes, absolutely. And so I understand that Greece is not a mature market for this. Not only, pardon me, not only innovation-wise, but also cost-wise. So maybe Greece is not ready to incorporate such systems. But are you focusing on other locations too? Because if I remember correctly, you have headquarters also in Greece and in UK.
In the UK, exactly. Well, we are the clinical trial that we're structuring at the moment involves 6 hospitals around Europe and the UK. So we try to have a spread, let's say, demographic coverage, patient-wise. But our initial focus as an entry market is the United States. We're working towards engaging with tertiary hospitals from the United States because they are typically equipped with the infrastructure necessary to integrate and benefit from AI-enabled technologies.
Yeah, they're a much more mature markets.
Yes,
such
exactly.
Decisions. Yeah,
exactly.
Create such solutions. So, except for the current market state, I would like to ask you what is the challenges that you are facing in this specific market when it comes to FDA approvals, if I'm saying this correctly and I'm not saying something wrong, creating and getting a patent approved. What does the scheme looks like? Because it's something that I'm unaware of, even though I understand the correlation between bringing something from the academia to the business world. I'm not entirely sure about what are the steps in order to be able to sell such a product. So could you please shed some light on this?
Yes, of course. So the path ahead is difficult. Of course, it's challenging. There are a lot of obstacles, and it's a bit long because as a medtech startup trying to bring a medical device into the market, classified as class 2 under the FDA, you need to first pass through some steps regarding the clinical evaluation of this medical device to ensure that the performance and the safety of this device, as well as
No, I just have questions that I'm trying to answer in my head. So let's say you have your MVP, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And now you need to figure out what the next steps are. What do you do?
Yes.
Who is the one that does the first evaluation?
So the first evaluation is actually performed right now at the University Hospital in Larissa. This is the first step, let's say, towards commercialization. This is a very first step, let's say, to verify that the MVP and AI models developed perform as intended to perform. And the next step is to bring it to more hospitals, expand it to multiple geographies in order to further collect, to enhance actually your clinical evidence data. Absolutely. That needs to be shown to the FDA authorities to gain the 510K clearance that we want.
Okay, so you will collect data, completing clinical trials in various locations. And as soon as you
Exactly.
get this data, you are going to offer, I suppose, something like a report to the, is it an
Yes,
FDA committee, something like that?
yes, you need actually, we need to compile our technical file, as it is called, and submit this technical file to the FDA authorities for review, and then get the clearance within around 6 months after submitting our technical file. So it's pretty much fast in the US.
Oh, so you are doing it abroad?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So how long does it take from the initiation of the clinical trials until the end of it as as the time frame?
So the current clinical pilot study that we are running started in December 2023 and is going to be completed by the end of June 2024. So this will be like around 7 months in total. And the pivotal clinical trial, so the second and last stage of clinical evaluation of our product, it's estimated to last between 9 to 12 months in total, in order to have sufficient time to collect the necessary data that will prove that, yes, this device performs pretty well as intended. It is safe and can be used within clinical settings. It is safe for the patients and the users as well. And also it is cost effective, because this is also a big part regarding the reimbursement of this device when it gets into the market.
Absolutely, absolutely. So after that, you're going to compile the
the technical file is something
file?
like it is comprised from a lot of documents, not just clinical ones. So it is something that we have already started compiling. The last document actually will be the clinical evaluation report after the clinical trial is completed, and then submitted to the FDA and get the clearance.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for explaining this to me. Are you also trying to create a patent?
Yes, yeah, we are we're working towards this. This is, of course, another let's say long-term process.
Process, but it's...
we are trying to file it within the next 4 months, actually. So now we're working with our patent attorney in order to file it in the UK IPO, but also apply for a PCT and go as a worldwide patent.
Okay, a PCT would be?
We can apply for this, and like, for example, firstly, we will apply to the UK IPO to file our patent within the UK, and before the patent becomes public, we can apply within 12 months after filing it in the UK to the EU IPO or the WIPO, and because this is what it's a process, let's say, that it allows you to submit your patent to other, let's say, geography.
Okay, other locations, perfect. The reason why I'm asking all of this question is because I assume that there are people in the audience that this is a very unclear process, especially because it has to be legislation compliant, or it has to pass through many filters in order to end up being a product that you can actually make money out of. So
yes.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
So since I have been making you speak so much, I'm going to keep on doing that successfully and ask you whether there are other companies, which I'm sure there are, doing relatively the same thing as you are. If they are, what are they doing differently? And what are you doing differently or planning on doing even better than the competition?
Of course, there is competition out there. Always there are. So first up, we have AlgoDX company. They focus specifically on sepsis prediction within the ICU, and they are limited in this setting. Next, we have Prenosis, a US company. Their tool uses AI to analyze a mix of proprietary biological data of their own, along with historical and static clinical data. And lastly, we have Previa Medical. They primarily rely on periodic updates of electronic health record data, which can be a limitation in detecting rapid changes in a patient's condition. Now, with an impressive performance of predicting sepsis onset with 97% sensitivity up to 48 hours in advance, our VIOSync product stands out by offering unmatched foresight and a proactive approach in patient care across the entire hospital journey. Unlike other systems, we are not limited to the ICUs only. The system is designed to function seamlessly across multiple care units, including areas traditionally under-monitored, like the medical and surgical wards and emergency departments. What really distinguishes VIOSync is our use of explainable AI, which is pivotal in transforming sepsis management. Moreover, our digital patient twin module allows healthcare providers to understand the etiology of sepsis risk and to act proactively rather than reactively, making interventions before the condition escalates to critical stages. And finally, our predictive capabilities are not confined to just sepsis. Our system extends to a broader range of potential complications, including hypotension and multi-organ dysfunction syndrome.
Okay, thank you. You have done your homework, man.
Yes, I came prepared.
Yeah, you came prepared. I love that. So thank you for putting this into words that most people will be able to understand. So at this point, I would like to ask, because we discussed about it a little bit yesterday, but I understand that you started bootstrapping and then you received some funds, EU funds, and you're currently opening or have opened a round. So would you like to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, currently, we have received more than 250,000 euros so far in European research grant funding, and this allowed us to develop our system and also perform this first clinical evaluation study. Now, in order to proceed further with a pivotal clinical trial, the regulatory requirements, submission to FDA, and get into 2 early adopter US hospitals within the next 18 months, we are actively fundraising and looking for $2 million.
Okay. Perfect.
So we opened this round like a couple of weeks ago, and now we're in the process of communicating this to investors across Europe and the US, of course.
Okay, at this point, I should offer this help. If there's any way that we can, through Startup Greece and myself, if we can disseminate this somehow through LinkedIn or any other social media platform, we would be more than happy to do so. And for anyone listening to us, investors, VCs, etc., you know where you can find us, and me and John, Ioannis. Thank you. Great. Okay. I would like to wrap it up by giving some more information regarding the team. So how many people are you? What are they doing? What is their experience in the industry?
Of course. So our core team is comprised by myself, my 2 co-founders, 2 clinical experts, and our engineering director. Specifically, the team brings together significant expertise in AI, in healthcare, and entrepreneurship as well. For example, our CTO, Sotiris, is specializing in biomedical AI applications. Vasilis, our chief scientific officer, comes with vast research expertise gained during his PhD at ETH Zurich. Our clinical experts bring over 10 years of hands-on clinical experience in anesthesia, in intensive care, and also emergency departments, adding a crucial perspective on the real-world application of our technology.
Absolutely.
And finally, our advisory board rounds out our expertise with professionals who have a proven track record in navigating the medtech regulatory landscape and scaling health tech innovations.
You sound like a dream team.
We try to be a dream team, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds like a dream team. It's extremely important to have industry relevant experience and be able to, let's say, tackle any any problem through experience. So I think you have that. I understand that you're currently full of people, but but if you were...
No, that's not true, actually.
if you were to onboard someone, how would you like their profile to be?
So we are at the moment, of course, we're always in the need of engineering people with expertise in AI and DevOps, for example, software engineering, but also in the field we're looking specifically now for an expert in medical device sales and commercialization strategy to further support the team with these parts. In order to have, let's say, in order to move closer, let's say, to a dream team, as you said before.
Yeah, nothing works without a person who can promote what you create. Unfortunately, that's how it works. It's you are going to be found, yes, but unless there are people that can make it visible, it's very hard to have a good head start, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Definitely.
Okay, great. I would like to understand which are the next steps, and what would you consider the biggest challenges within the next growth phase?
So the immediate next step, as I mentioned before, is to perform our pivotal clinical trial with our 6 partner university hospitals in Europe and the UK, in order to gather all the necessary clinical data. Of course, the challenge here is to bring the funds that are needed to perform such a clinical study, such a clinical trial. And then after completing the regulatory process and getting to the 510(k) clearance from the FDA, our next step is to sell into hospitals. So with the funds that we're looking at the moment, this is included in our roadmap. And of course, then in the meantime, we need to open our Series A round in order to further scale it up and increase sales, etc. Of course, an important aspect here is that currently we are in discussions with 2 major players, industrial players, who will further, let's say, support in market penetration. And such collaborations actually will facilitate seamless integration of our solution into existing hospital workflows and enhance its accessibility and adoption. So this is something that we need and we want to complete like such a partnership within this year.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're making my job so easy today. Thank you for that.
Great.
I'm fully covered with everything we discussed, and at this point, I would like you to literally say anything that you would like to add on this, even though you gave me all of the information that I could possibly ask for. But is there anything that you would like to share? Maybe someone is listening that would be interested in your solution, or maybe there are people in the audience having in an industry relevant know-how or want to contact us. Is there anything that you would like to add?
We're calling of course, investors to contact us if they're listening to our conversation today. Of course, people with expertise in medical device commercialization life cycles, because these are two critical parts that we need at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, yeah. So guys and girls and everyone listening to us, please feel free to comment or get in touch with me or get in touch with Ioannis via LinkedIn or the YouTube channel or wherever you can possibly find us. If you have industry relevant experience and you would be interested in discussing with Ioannis, I'm sure they're open to that. So I can, as I wrap it up, I want to say that I feel very confident that this is a solution of a very, very high value, and it's going to be even a more increasing value as personalized medicine is just breaking the ceiling right now. So I'm very confident and I'm comfortably saying that this is going to rock. And I just cannot wait to see how it's going to go within the next 6 months. And I'm waiting for you to tell me everything so that we can have a catch up and you tell me where exactly you are and what you're doing. And with this, I'm
amazing.
And with this, I'm going to thank you and